Hello, Tom, once again on location here at Wood Lake Nature Center in Richfield, here to talk about the trade deadline. My production assistant in our production meeting, it's very official. He pitched some ideas, and Bobby Bobblehead, you may have seen, he wanted to know your favorite trade deadline targets, and there were some shared, but I think the overwhelming response was more of an apprehension about the Twins potentially being buyers. And I can understand that to some degree, and this first point I want to make is not directed at those feelings or those takes or the validity of that thought. But my first reaction is just implode the Central. If nobody in the AL Central is going to try to win this division, it's already pathetic as it is. The fact that, teams leading this division are under 500 or around 500. That's already pathetic enough as it is. But if no one's even going to try to win the division, that is a sad state of affairs, and Major League Baseball might want to take some kind of action. Obviously, it's kind of too late for this year, but moving forward, maybe, a division. Maybe there are no divisions. I don't know. This is just not good. If it really works out that Cleveland sells, and they might, Shane Bieber, it sounds like he got hurt last night or recently, so he was kind of their big piece that they might move, and the Twins don't try, again, I just think that would be pathetic. Again, I'm not saying that you're wrong if you think that's the best course of action to take strategically for the Twins. My take is on that, I do want the Twins to add pieces, but I would be shocked if they really try to go all in, and I'm not so sure that's the best idea either. And furthermore, I'm not sure how that would look for the Twins, because they don't. This team is not really in a tremendous spot to add huge pieces. Now, sometimes it's surprising at the trade deadline. It almost seems like all you got to do is ask about some of these guys, and their teams will let them go. Especially guys on expiring contracts. A lot of those guys don't seem to really fetch much on the trade market, and it's kind of surprising how little it can take to get some of these guys. So I think the Twins should take advantage of that side of the market. Again, guys probably on expiring contracts who would not take a major upgrade. So to those of you who answered that question with some concerns about the minor league system being further emptied, I don't think we have to worry too much about that, because, again, I don't think the Twins are trading a Brooks Lee, an Emmanuel Rodriguez, someone like. I don't think the Twins are going to make that kind of a move. I would be surprised. It's hard to tell, though. I will say it's hard to tell. The Twins are incredibly close to the vest. They don't really put their indications out. I think every year it gets even more so, that they are kind of more difficult to read and know what they're going to do. But no matter the state of this team was built to win. And, turning course at this point, I think, would be a bad idea. I think that would be a mistake. I think if you're going to do that, just go ahead and start firing the top people. If you're going to wave the white flag at this point in this season, that's just a sign that this was, total system failure. Was that the key word from a couple years ago? So, that's my main thought. I do want the Twins to try to upgrade, to try to fix some pieces, but I think we're probably all in agreement that this team is only going to go as far as the guys in the clubhouse right now take them. Because some external upgrades are going to help and make the team more complete. But if Carlos Correa doesn't play like we expect him to play, if Byron Buxton can't play like we expect him to play, if they continue to not be able to hit with runners in scoring position, they're not going anywhere anyway. So it is definitely on the guys currently on the team to push forward, to get them over the hump, to get them where they need to go. So if you're looking for external solutions, I don't think you're going to find any. You can certainly find help. And I think that's what the Twins should be doing at the deadline. And I expect the Twins to get creative. Again, I said I don't think that they're going to move any of their top prospects. That would be surprising to me. This is a front office that gets pretty creative and has a lot of trades in their trade history where they're kind of buying and selling in the same trade. They're grabbing major league and minor league pieces. We've seen that in a lot of their trades, where they're getting a major league upgrade, and sprinkling in a minor league piece that's kind of interesting or two. So I definitely could see that. I wouldn't fall out of my chair or off of my bench here if Sonny Gray was moved in a trade. I would be surprised if a Sonny Gray trade was made in which the Twins didn't get major league upgrades. But like a challenge trade where the Twins traded Sonny Gray for like the hitting version of Sonny Gray, a guy on an expiring contract, maybe on a team that's desperate for starting pitching and has extra bats. I don't have that name to pull out on the top of my head. I would bet against Sonny Gray getting traded, but I think they're going to explore all avenues. I really do. I think they're going to be open to a lot of stuff. And I think you have to be now. Now, with the expanded playoffs, there are so few true sellers who are only selling, who are only interested in minor league upgrades. So I think that kind of makes things a little tricky, makes things a little more gray, no pun intended. So something I realized I forgot to touch on was regarding the cloudiness of who is a buyer and who is a seller. The St. Louis Cardinals GM over the break said that they would be trading players, seeming to signal that yes, we have a concrete seller. Okay, now we can start looking at these Cardinals guys and trying to figure out who's going to get traded there. But then yesterday, I saw that on MLB Trade Rumors that they have expressed interest in Seattle Mariners starting pitcher Logan Gilbert, a very good young starting pitcher who would represent a very big upgrade, a very big addition to the Cardinals. So it's like, what is going on? It's impossible to figure out. We have all of these teams trying to fix these problems, and there might be a bunch of weird buy sells, and I think it's going to create for some interesting trade talks and some interesting discussions. So I think that's where sort of the Sonny Gray thing comes in for me. No, I don't think the Twins should be actively trying to trade Sonny Gray, but kind of like I said, I think there's a possibility that someone approaches them with a trade that is logical to them. So it should be interesting, I guess is what I'm saying. You can never have too much starting pitching. Yes, the Twins rotation has been tremendous. No, I don't think that means they can quote unquote afford to trade someone from that rotation. But they have to try to do something with this lineup. It's so lopsided, this team. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that this is the case since the Twins have been the opposite for so long. And really most teams are that way. But speaking of that, that's one of the nice things about the deadline this year for the Twins is they don't have to be active in that starting pitching market. The prices get inflated. There's so much competition. Everybody pretty much is looking for rotation upgrades, which is why I could see the Twins maybe trading Gray, in that just the teams are going to ask. And somebody might come along and make an offer that they have a hard time saying no to. So we'll see what happens there. We also have some teams competing this year that haven't been competing in so long. Your Baltimores, your Cincinnatis. And it'll be interesting to see, how thirsty they are or not thirsty they are to, get upgrades and make additions and make a push in these windows that they're in. So I think it'll be an interesting trade deadline. Again, I do think the Twins need to push to make some additions. The Central is right there for the taking. No, this team doesn't look like a World Series contender, but you never know. You never know when things might click. I mean, Minnesota Twins fans, if anybody, should understand that with the 1987 and just to some degree the 1991 World Series teams. And I always just think of, no team is the same, but, I have a short memory. My memory's not that great. But a team I think of when I think of, a team that went for it, that maybe didn't went for it is probably putting it too far, but a team that gave itself a chance was when the Braves won a couple of years ago without Ronald Acuna. Their best, superstar, maybe the MVP, injured, out for the year. They weren't going to get him back at any point. They were below 500, I think, at the time of the trade deadline, or at least close to there. And they went out and they made some minor additions, kind of along the fringes, and just helped give them a shot. And they won the World Series. And I'm not saying the Twins look as good as that team or anything, but I'm saying I think it's kind of foolish if you have a path, if there's a window, to not try to at least open that window a bit more. Maybe you don't blow it open. Maybe you don't completely go for it. You make some moves along the fringes and you give yourself a chance. And I think if the Twins aren't going to do that, just start the rebuild. Start at least in terms of the front office, the coaching staff. Just start turning people over, because if you have this opportunity in front of you and you don't make any effort to try to go for it at all, that's total system failure. We got some blue herons flying overhead here. I don't know if you guys can see that with the background. Smoky day, poor air quality. On location at Wood Lake. Thanks for watching that draft video, because that gave me some confidence that I can do these and people will watch them. Thanks to all the channel members. Here are the premium members. We'll talk again soon.